this video is going to be for if you're just now getting into the gym, or if you've been in the gym for a few months, a few years, whatever. We're going to get into how to actually master the gym and how to start making really good progress, how to go further, how to move more weight in the gym, how to put on more muscle, and all that stuff. We're going to break it down into a few steps. So this is the introduction, and then we're going to do training and diet. So those are the two big things, and then we're going to do one little section at the very end for cardio. And we'll get into that, and that's part of training, but really it's just its own separate thing. So we're going to go over that as well. So the very first part, we're going to go into training. So what is training? Basically, it's where you go to the gym and you pick your type of workouts that you're going to do. So, I mean, this morning, I went and I did back and biceps. So there's a bunch of different ways you can set it up. You could do like a bro split. So you're going to be doing push-pull legs. So what that is a pushing movement. So you're going to be doing, basically, you're going to be doing chest, shoulders, triceps. So like tricep extensions are like pushing movements. Bench press is pushing movements, shoulder press is pushing movements, things like that. And then the next day you'll do pull, so you'll do like curls, you'll do rows, you'll do pull-ups, and then legs obviously is pretty self-explanatory, you're doing legs. So there's a bunch of different ways that you can do that. You can also do, so most of that's called like weight training, and you can also do calisthenics, which is a bunch of body weight exercises. There's a bunch of crazy movements. If you just look up calisthenics on like Google, you can see the types of workouts people do. Some of the very, very talented people, a lot of push-ups, a lot of archery push-ups, lots of pull-ups. Some of those end up getting weighted, like you add more weight to them to make it like better, because eventually you'll do so many that you have to do like 50 before you get tired at all. And then, I mean, you can do CrossFit if you're into that, and that's basically where you're doing a bunch of cardio, weightlifting. I'm not really big into CrossFitting, but if you know what that is, then you can do more research on that, or if you want to know what that is, you can do more research. I just know that it hasn't gotten me the best amount of gains because I haven't really done it, so it's not something that I'm going to sit here and talk about. But basically, you could do weight training, you could do calisthenics, things like that. And I would highly suggest weight training if you're trying to put on a lot of muscle, if you're trying to look really good. Weight training, and specifically bodybuilding style, is the best way to go about that. So bodybuilding is where you're doing, certain movements like, pull-ups, push-ups, a bunch of weight movements. So lat pull-downs, bench press, tricep extensions, and you're doing sets of about 6 to 8, and then 8 to 10, 8 to 10 to 12, stuff like that, 10 to 15 rep range, stuff like that. Powerlifting is a different thing. That's what I'm going to cover here in a minute. So basically bodybuilding is what I would highly suggest, because you're keeping let's say I'm doing a bicep curl in the gym when I'm doing my training, is I'm coming up and then I'm slowly releasing that curl. So bodybuilding style is all about using that mind-muscle connection and slowing your movements down so you're able to do that movement and get the maximum amount of muscle growth. Now for powerlifting, it's more of like 1 to 3 rep range, 1 to 4 rep range, and you're doing big movements like squats, bench, deadlift, and you're only doing the most you can do for that many amount of reps, and that's what you're going to be doing. It's pretty clean and cut and dry. If you look up like powerlifters, like they won't do a lot of different exercises. They'll just stick to 1 or 2 exercises for a day, 1 or 2 or 3 exercises, and they'll only do very short amount of reps and very short amount of sets. And that's how they are able to pull a lot more, because they're not exerting their body through different types of exercises. So once you've picked out like a training style, if you want to do bodybuilding, if you want to do powerlifting, whatever the case is, you can do more research on those topics. I'm also going to be posting more about each different topic here in the next few weeks. I'm pretty excited about that. If you want to click subscribe, you can see those notifications when I post another video about a certain topic, and you can start watching those immediately. You can go to the link in the description and click that first link, and you can schedule one-on-one calls with me, and I will personally train you through what you need to know, and I will give you accountability courses and all things like that. So if you're really interested in that, go ahead and just go look at that, take a look at it, and we'll get to that, okay? So the next thing that we talk about is probably one of the most important things in addition to training, which is diet. So how to pick a diet and how to eat clean. So there's a bunch of different diets you can do. There's different paleo diets, carnivore diets, things like that. You can do fasting, intermittent fasting, things like that. There's so many things you could do with diet. The one thing I want to say right now is I would probably do carnivore diet if you're trying to lose and or gain weight, because it's just an all-round great way to benefit yourself through that. So it's great for cutting if you're trying to lose weight because you're just eating meat. So you're losing the amount of calories and you're completely obliterating the protein intake. So you're going to be completely fine with that. And then, I mean, for bulking, you just eat more meat. And then, I mean, maybe you throw a little bit of extra things here and there just to account for the amount of calories you've lost. And you don't quite get in that. Or you could do paleo, which is kind of the same thing. You're just not eating very many carbs. It's kind of up to you. But once you pick a different type of, or whatever type of diet you want to do, I would highly suggest booking a call with me. That way we can keep you accountable and help you stick to that diet. That's another reason I suggest carnivore, because it's so brain dead easy. You're just able to feel, oh, okay, well, I just got to eat meat. And then once you eat like a ribeye steak and some eggs, and you're not really hungry anymore, so you're not going to want to keep snacking. You're not going to want to keep binge eating because you've just had a full meal. Another way to keep yourself accountable on your own diet, if you don't want to get my calls and get the one-on-one feedback from me, that's fine. Another way to keep yourself accountable is to literally just go to the store and spend a bunch of money on the diet that you pick. So if you want to go on the carnivore, I would highly suggest going and dropping like $100 to $200 depending on your price range at the store. Make it a pretty significant amount. That way you might not have enough money to go get extra food, and B, you're going to be like, okay, I spent all this money on food, so I'm going to sit here and I'm probably going to eat all this food and cook it and prep it up the way that it needs to be done because I spent all this money and now I'm spending all this time, and then that's going to help you stick on that diet. A few other things I want to get to real quick is just some certain foods that you can eat to maximize muscle growth and testosterone. So some real quick ones: ribeye steak, eggs, avocado, celery is another good one to increase testosterone. All of those things will help increase muscle growth and testosterone, and it'll make you feel a lot better. As far as supplements go, I would highly suggest creatine. I mean, fish oils, easy stuff like that. Probably take a 1-a-day vitamin, make sure you're getting all the nutrients that you need, and drink plenty of water. Another thing you could do to help yourself stay full is when you're getting a craving for something, literally just open up, get a big water bottle or something, and just chug a bunch of water. You're not going to want to eat anything after that, I promise. You're not going to want to have snacks or anything, sweeties like that after that, I promise you, because I've done it so many times. Speaking of which, I'm a little behind on my water intake today. Sorry about that. So, I mean, those are just some of the things you can do. And like I said, again, I hate to be that guy, but if you want to get more information on this, then you can go to the link in the description and we'll talk. We'll get you accountability. We'll get the whole package. We'll get it all set up for you. Something I want to do for you. It's my gift to you. Alright guys, that's all I got for you today. I'm going to be posting more videos just like this here in the next few weeks. You guys have a blessed day. Amen.